There's a new Robo Rumble exploit for easy max time and max tokens. I'm going to show you how to do it. First of all, I did not discover this exploit. Shout out to Donut Feel, who posted a video on Reddit of doing this. Now, in the video on Reddit, he only got a max time of about 5 minutes, but you can get, and I will show you, that you can easily get above the maximum amount of time needed, 16-15, to get the maximum amount of tokens, and you can get 13 minutes and 14 seconds. I ended up actually failing because I got really bored, and honestly, I saw a message and I got distracted and I forgot to make the exploit work. So here's how it is. You need one specific thing, a dynamite with star power. This is a really simple exploit. There is a part on the map in Robo Rumble where dynamite can just continuously jump over the wall, and the robots will just keep on following him. They'll go from one side of the wall and go all the way around to the other side, and once they get there, you jump back over the wall, and then they go all the way back around, and you just keep on doing that, and robots will keep on stacking up, and you can get bosses as well, and you can just stay alive by using dynamite star power and just keep on jumping over the wall, and you end up with a pile of robots chasing you. Now, I will say it does get pretty difficult, and it's not the easiest thing to do. If I had to rate this Robo Rumble exploit, it'd probably be maybe a 3 out of 5. It's definitely one that can get you max time, but there are a couple things that can go wrong, and honestly, it's pretty boring. But I will say, it's also kind of funny to just see the robots continuously chase after you and not be able to get you at all. That is pretty fun. So I'm gonna talk about the dynamite part briefly as far as what you have to do. But first, before I finish that off, the other small thing, the other 2 brawlers on your team, they have to defend the safe. They're still going to get some robots that attack them and the safe, and they're gonna have to defend it. And they might also get a boss, and they're gonna have to defeat the boss by themselves. It's gonna depend on where the boss spawns. If the boss spawns near dynamite, it'll go to dynamite. But if it spawns on the other half or 3/4 of the map, it's gonna go to them in the safe, and they have to be able to take out the boss on their own. So I really recommend a Pam, because you can get extra healing and just stay alive in all many different situations. And Pam is an absolute beast. She does a ton of damage, high health, really great for Robo Rumble. I'm also going to recommend a Colt, because you really want that damage, as you're only 2 people, so you really need a super high amount of damage to be able to take out any bots that come your way, because you don't have that third person where you have less damage than you normally would. A Bull is another good option, or a Max Jesse. That's another decent option, but I think Colt, maybe Ricochet, is probably the best options. So they have to be able to keep the safe alive by themselves against any robots that come their way. They're not going to get as many as they normally would, but dealing with a high level boss can be difficult by themselves, so they have to be able to do that. Now, the dynamite part is honestly maybe harder, but it's just doing the same thing over and over and over. But there are a couple things that can go wrong. First of all, the biggest thing to know is if the boss spawns on Dynamite's side, there can be a couple things that can go wrong. If that boss ever shoots rockets at you, it's over. That dynamite part is completely ruined, because once he shoots rockets at you, those rockets break down walls, and they will destroy the wall. The dynamite needs to jump over. That happened to me. It's pretty frustrating. You got to be really careful. If you see that boss, jump over that wall sooner than you normally would, just to make sure that he never starts targeting you. If the boss stops and starts firing those rockets, it's all over. So you need to make sure he doesn't get the chance to do that at all. Otherwise, it's fine. That boss can follow you. He's not going to be any more difficult than the other bots otherwise, as you just want to make sure he never locks on. Another thing that can go wrong is robots are going to keep on spawning, and they can spawn right next to you. So that can definitely be difficult. If that ever happens, just jump over sooner than you normally would, and you might have a couple times where you have to jump over the wall more often than you normally would. There are gonna be times where you're gonna take a little bit of damage. You might take one shot, or you might have someone spawn on your side, and it's not always gonna be easy to completely regen. I would really say don't worry about regenning too much. You want to be able to regen a little bit. You should be able to get back to full health, because you don't want to get to the low enough health where you can be one shot by the highest level range robot. That is definitely, you want to stay out of that range. You can heal up but it's gonna be really difficult to heal up all the way in one go. You might have to heal up like 300 to 600 health at a time every time you jump over the wall. It's also gonna depend on where robots spawn. If robots spawn right near you, you're gonna have less of a chance to heal up because you're gonna have to jump over the wall even faster than you would normally to make sure those robots don't get you. Now, as a robot stays alive for a longer period of time, after about 30 seconds of that robot being alive, it gets a faster move speed. So you're just gonna have to deal with that. Those robots are gonna come really fast. You're gonna be using Dynamite Star power, jumping over the wall every 2 or 3 or 4 seconds about. And another really good tip I'm gonna give you, because the other biggest way to mess up is just throwing a stick down and not jumping over the wall, where you're not close enough to the dynamite stick and you don't jump over the wall. That's gonna happen. It's, unless you are a complete pro, unless you have practiced this, it's probably gonna happen because you're gonna get really bored and it's really monotonous. It's the same thing over and over and over. Honestly, when I was doing it, my arms started falling asleep because I was just holding the same position for so long. And eventually I got distracted and I missed one dynamite, and it's gonna happen. So what my tip is to make sure you're less likely to miss that jump is, once you throw that dynamite stick down, take one step towards the dynamite stick. That way you make sure that you are not out of range of it, because as long as you're getting hit by the dynamite, you're gonna jump over the wall and you will be okay. As long as you jump over the wall, you're fine. You just need to jump over. So make sure you're getting close enough to the dynamite stick that you jump over. Do not go on top of it. You just want to take about one step. Just go a little bit closer, because what this is going to do, the majority of your throws might be fine. You probably don't need that step, but you're going to have some throws where you do need that step. And you might have the chance sometimes where you can mess up, miss a throw, and have time for another throw before you get killed by the robots, especially early on. And if you mess up early on, it's not that big of a deal. You can actually, just as long as the walls don't fall down, you can go back to the spot and try again. If you mess up in the first couple minutes and you die, you can go back and try it again. It might be a little bit harder on your teammates, but you still should be able to get the max time for tokens, I would think, as long as you get those jumps right moving forward. Another thing to know is, actually with Colt, if he keeps that super and you do actually die, all those robots are gonna be grouped up, and the Colt can have a really good super or two and completely destroy the robots, and you won't lose right away. So even if the dynamite dies, Colt can save the situation. You have Colt and Pam, and if Colt is paying attention somewhat, if dynamite dies, all those robots come to the safe. Colt can actually kill all of them, and it won't be too difficult because Colt super goes through all the robots and they're all going to be in a line. So you actually can survive about another 30 seconds at least if that Colt is paying attention and he destroys robots with his super. So even if you die, you actually can keep on going even if you're on the later stages. It's not the end of the world. Now, I got to about 10 minutes with this. As I said, I think you're gonna see it at some point. I missed my dynamite stick. I looked over, I got a message on my phone, and it just gets, I didn't really feel the point, and I just lost it. It happens. And I could have gotten to probably 13, 14 for you guys, but honestly, I just wanted to get this video out for you all as soon as possible. So if you want, you can do this exploit too. And I mean, hey, I was looking to get practice with Dynamite Star Power. I didn't really imagine I would get the practice in Robo Rumble though. Let me know if you guys are having any difficulties with this exploit, and I'll try and answer any questions you have down below in the comments. And let me know if it's working well for you guys, if you were able to get 13, 14 or not. You should really easy be able to get it. I got to 10 minutes, no problem. You should be able to get to 13, no problem too. It's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you later.